What if it was a theater production? Would you be able to handle that you believed a lie? As I sit here and take in all of the news from every direction, all I see is deceivers, liars, corporate media, cover-ups, agenda, all pushing the same propaganda. It's time for a game changer, a visionary, an innovative person who changes the way that people think of the situations. It's time for Game Changer TV, telling it like it is. Get in the game. What happened in Butler, Pennsylvania was a theater production? Would you be able to handle if you believed a lie? Thanks for tuning into Game Changer TV. I'm your host, Terri Lynn, and this is the channel where every day we're telling it like it is. Today is December 7th, 2025. And the reason why this video is important, you can't say, oh, Terri, that was a couple of years ago. It ain't even important anymore. We're past that. No, this is foundational to your mind, to your mindset, to your belief system, what you're going to accept. Because if you accepted this as true, you developed an emotional affinity for Trump. You developed an emotional connection to him. You invested into him. You prayed for him. You interceded. You were just heartbroken if you believed the lie. But what if it was a theater production? What if it was a psyop? This matters because that is foundational to where you're willing to follow Trump into. If you realize that this was a psyop from the beginning to control your response to whatever he wanted to do, oh, well, I'm going to be loyal to Trump because he took a bullet for us. I'm going to be loyal to Trump because he said God saved him to save the world. I'm going to be loyal to Trump because of this. But if you recognize that this was a great, big, huge lie, or if you believe the lie, I prayed this stops you in your track and you jump off the train and don't go any farther on this. Let's jump into this. What's that old saying? That sin and Satan will take you farther than you wanted to go, keep you longer than you intended to stay, and cost you more than you thought you would pay. Don't go any farther into this. I ask you have an open mind, you consider the facts that I'm showing you, and ponder how easy this would have been to be a lie. Let's jump into this. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to the adjective that they use to describe this. Do governments run psyops to influence emotion to strengthen loyalty? Yes, governments and their militaries absolutely run psychological operations to influence emotions. Are y'all ready? Which can strengthen loyalty. So let's start from the beginning, like you didn't know anything. Who shot Donald Trump? Trump was shot and wounded in his upper right ear by 20-year-old Thomas Crooks. Now, the ear is considered part of the head, so Trump suffered a head wound, supposedly, by this 20-year-old named Thomas Crooks with an AR-15 style rifle from a nearby building's roof. So what building did Thomas Crooks shoot Trump from? Thomas Crooks fired shots at Donald Trump from the roof of a warehouse owned by AGR International, American Glass Research. Who owns IGR International? AGR International Glass Research is owned by Indica, a diversified industrial solutions company that acquired AGR in early 2024. So the building that Thomas Crook shot Trump from is owned by a company called Indicor, or however you say that. Now, y'all write all of this down, okay? 1 year ago, SEC filings revealed that BlackRock lent $16.9 million to Indicor. BlackRock lent money to the company where the Thomas Crooks shooter shot Trump at. Okay? Keep in mind, do governments run psyops? Absolutely. So, who shot Trump? Trump was shot and wounded in his upper right ear by a 20-year-old Thomas Crooks on a building that had interest in it from BlackRock. That BlackRock lent them money. And the shooter was an actor who had appeared in a commercial for BlackRock. The same BlackRock that lent money to the company that Thomas Crooks, who was in a commercial for BlackRock, was on top of. What are the coincidences to all this, okay? And then it says BlackRock removes ad from 2022 that included images of Trump's gunman. So he's in a commercial. He knew how to stand on a spot. He knew how to take direction. He knew how to be controlled. He knew how to read a script. So Trump had this rally out in the middle of nowhere. Okay? And the guy just happened to be on a building with BlackRock interest. And he was a BlackRock actor. Now, BlackRock and Blackstone. So, you know, BlackRock is the CEO is Larry Fink, who is also the co-chair at the World Economic Forum, who is pushing for a global government. Did BlackRock break from Blackstone? Yes, BlackRock, who we're talking about, who had the actor on the roof, originated as part of BlackRock. Yes, BlackRock. It's so confusing. BlackRock, Larry Fink, originated as part of Blackstone. Now, Blackstone is Steven Schwartzman. Okay, these two names are very, very important. They're both tied to Trump. Okay, we know that Trump takes advice from Larry Fink of Blackstone, Larry Fink of BlackRock. I'm sorry, it gets so confusing because I the history. So BlackRock is Larry Fink. He is the co-chair of World Economic Forum. He just accompanied Trump on the Middle East trip that Trump took during the summer. Larry Fink advised Trump in his first administration. In 2017, did Larry Fink advise Trump in his first administration? Yes, Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, advised President Trump in 2017, participating in his strategic and policy forum to discuss pro-growth policies. He also went with Trump on this Middle East trip, okay? So he and Trump are friends. He and Trump are friends, and a company that he is over lent the money to the company of the building that the shooter was on the roof, that was an actor for his company. The same Larry Fink that is a globalist, that wants a one world government. March of 2025 and April 2025. Wall Street Journal, how BlackRock's Larry Fink won over Donald Trump. You know, the people that say you will own nothing and be happy. Larry Fink and Donald Trump, an unexpected partnership. So keep in mind that BlackRock broke from Blackstone. Okay, keep this in mind. This is going to be very, very important. So Trump is acting like he's not a globalist, but he's hanging around the globalists. He's taking advice from the globalists. He's traveling with the globalists who want to take every single thing away from people. He's associated with the man who shot him being on top of the building owned by these people. So let me just show y'all a few things, how it's all a stage. They're putting on a show to get you emotionally invested so you will not resist to what they're wanting to do. So I've did a whole video on all the people on the world stage that are actors, but just for this condensed video, I'm going to hit a few things. Zelensky was an actor. Y'all remember I showed y'all the clip, him playing a piano with his penis? I mean, my mind cannot even comprehend how ridiculous all this stuff is. Yes, Vladimir Zelensky was a well-known actor, comedian, and producer. And I showed y'all him dancing provocatively in stilettos. So he knows how to read a script. He knows how to be instructed. He knows how to obey. So Tom Cruise, considered one of the highest paid actors of all time, one of them, went and met with Zelensky in 2019. Okay? So what would be his interest in this? An actor meeting an actor. And then Sean Penn went over there and he gave Zelensky one of his Oscars. Sean Penn, who's a writer, actor, producer, director. Sean Penn gave one of his best actor Oscar statuettes to Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky in November 2022. I guess since Zelensky couldn't go to the Oscars and be commended for the role that he's playing right now, Sean Penn went over there and congratulated him and gave him an Oscar. Do y'all see how crazy this is? Now, is Trump a documented actor? Yes, Donald Trump is a documented actor with numerous film TV cameos, hosting The Apprentice, and even winning the Razzie Awards for the worst acting in films like Ghost Can't Do It, showing documented appearances beyond his business persona, though his acting roles are brief cameos. Trump is listed as a producer, an actor, and a writer. So he knows how to write scripts and he knows how to produce films. So when you go down, and best known for The Apprentice, Celebrity Apprentice, Home Alone, but let's keep going. These are all the things he's been involved in, that he's produced, directed, written for, acted in. Okay, so he's got quite a long list. He even appeared on Days of Our Lives, Sex and the City, Spin City, Drew Carey, Suddenly Susan, The Nanny, Home Alone 2, Fresh Prince. He's been on All My Children. Then y'all remember Omarosa that was on The Apprentice? That in his first term he brought on board to be a cabinet member for him? Oh, I'm sorry. She was a high-ranking aide to Trump. Okay? 2 more actors. She's listed as an actor herself. So Trump was an actor. The man that shot him was an actor. Own a building of the people that were financing the business. Who he was an actor in the commercial. Trump's first term, he brought in an actress from his TV show with him. This is about to get more crazy. Is Mike Huckabee an actor? Yes, Mike Huckabee has acting credits. Is Steve Bannon an actor? So Steve Bannon was in Trump's first administration around the same time that Larry Fink was advising Trump. Steve Bannon is military naval who worked in the Pentagon, might be naval intelligence. He was not an actor, not primarily an actor, but a producer, a writer, and director in Hollywood before his political career. Now, so he went in the Navy, he got out of the Navy after he worked at the Pentagon, then he got into Hollywood movie making. Then he ends up as an advisor to Trump. So Steve Bannon was a writer, producer, director. Steve Bannon served as a White House chief strategist and senior counsel to President Donald Trump from January 2017 to his ousting in August 2017, playing a playing a pivotal role in shaping the administration's populist message, crafting early executive orders, and influencing key appointments. Was Steve Mnuchin an actor? You know, who was a Treasury Secretary for Trump in the first administration? Who was over our company's, our nation's, yeah, I spoke right, our company, because we become a corporation, over our country's finances. Was Steve Mnuchin an actor? Yes, Steve Mnuchin has acting credits, primarily small cameos as a financier, but he's far better known as a film producer, financier, and former U.S. Treasury Secretary. Ties to major films like Mad Max, the Lego Movie, American Sniper, and he also produced Billy Bob Thornton and Sandra Bullock's Our Brand is Crisis. Producer and actor. Edge of Tomorrow, Tom Cruise. It's all a psyop. Okay, these are all the executive producer, The Man You Don't Know, Wonder Woman, executive producer, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, executive producer, and he worked for Trump. Chips. My computer froze. So how are these people going from actors and producers to having the ear of the president? Our Brand is Crisis. Steve Mnuchin, executive producer, so he directed Tom Cruise, Billy Bob Thornton, Sandra Bullock. Was he up there in D.C. directing Trump? They're all actors, writers, producers. This was from March 19th, 2017, right after Trump's inauguration 2 months earlier. The 13 most powerful members of Skull and Bones. We all know about Skull and Bones, also known as the Brotherhood of Death, 322, Skull and Bones. Well, let's go see who their 13 most powerful members of the entire organization is. One of the 13 most powerful members of Skull and Bones was George H.W. Bush, John Kerry, George W. Bush, Steven Schwarzman, BlackRock. The club tapped Schwartzman only a year behind George W. Bush. He came to prominence under the future president's administration, so he worked for Trump also. The Blackstone Group went public in 2007. Forbes estimates his personal fortune at around $11.9 billion as of March 2017. So, Schwarzman was recently tapped by President Donald Trump to chair his Strategic and Policy Forum, which consists of 17 high-powered executives, and one of them was Larry Fink. So BlackRock, Larry Fink, broke from Blackstone, who is Skull and Bones and one of the most powerful members, and they were both advisors to Trump. And look who else is one of the most 13 powerful members of Skull and Bones. Stephen Mnuchin, the actor, producer, writer, who was the U.S. Secretary. Steve Mnuchin begins a newer generation of bonesmen on the list. The current U.S. Secretary of Treasury got his bachelor's degree at Yale before starting work at Goldman Sachs. Mnuchin stayed with the bank for 17 years and became its chief information officer in 1999. After moving on from Goldman, he started his own hedge fund. Okay? And at some point, he started a career in Hollywood. But yet, they didn't even mention that. Trump has been surrounded by actors, writers, producers. You've got Skull and Bones people working together that are involved with the building that Trump was shot from. And the shooter was an actor for BlackRock. Do y'all see this? But I'm going to need y'all to strap in hard for this next clip. It seemed like it was from somebody's personal phone that recorded this. Strap in. What if you believed a lie? Well, before I reveal it, let me show you what Charlie Kirk said about who runs the world.
World. Who runs the world? Well, the scriptures say that Satan actually runs the world. He is the prince of this world. But currently, there's an oligarchy that's really hard to pinpoint of who's actually calling the shots. And that's really what's happening in this election, is that the presidency is no more. It's really kind of a shadow government of administrative experts that call the shots, that the president is basically just a Hollywood actor or actress that goes around, poses for pictures, produce speeches. They don't actually make any decisions. And so the form and the structure of government, as the founding fathers intended, is no more.
How many times Trump was talking about casting call? Before I show y'all this clip from the Butler shooting, keep everything that I've said in mind: who was involved with the building, who the shooter was involved with, who the people surrounding Trump were. They're all in theater production. Does Trump make people sign NDAs? Yes, Donald Trump has extensively used non-disclosure agreements across his businesses. Y'all, what if happened was crisis actors and they had to sign non-disclosure agreements? This was out in the middle of a rural area, not in a building, out in a field. What if everybody going into that field had to sign a non-disclosure agreement? Now wait till you see this clip. Now y'all listen to this. This sounds like they are giving directions how to perform this act. Now, if this is a lie, people were taken in by a psyop and got emotionally attached to a lie.
3, 2, 1, go!
Now let's go! Back up, now let's go! Back up! On the channel, we're in contact, making contact!
Action!
Now let's go! Back up! On the channel, we're in contact, making contact!
The comments were ridiculous. They even said, I love how the flag got lowered. While he's being shot, they're lowering the flag coming down for dramatic effects. Let's watch this again.
In 3, 2, 1, go!
Now let's go! Back up, now let's go! Back up! On the channel, we're in contact, making contact!
Action!
Now let's go! Back up! On the channel, we're in contact, making contact!
And he's getting shot at, and they're giving directions to the left, like they're having to tell him to get off the stairs. While he's being shot at, he's going to take time and raise his fist, fight. And here comes, like the Jim Carrey Truman Show, when the director says, lower the lights, lower the flags.
What's going on? Reroute it back to...
We need more light. You'll never find him this way. Cue the sun.
Y'all, this is going to show at 6:10, Trump at the podium talking, and then at 6:13, him on the ground. And none of the photojournalists are running with gun shots ringing out. They're standing in place, making sure they're getting a shot. Pardon the pun, but they're not. They're not hitting the deck because guns just shot the president because they knew it wasn't real.
MAGA means Make America Great Again, Joe.
Here comes the flag down. Lowering the flag. Now, would his Secret Service allowed him to stand up in the open like that, unprotected, full chest shot, full head shot? He supposedly just got shot at, but they're going to let him stop and take a photo op. They don't have him on the ground, dog piled on top of him, make sure he's okay. The scene in the Truman Show. Truman discovers his life is scripted and instantly dislikes it. What if they were telling us in the Truman Show that nothing is real?
And 3, 2, 1, go!
Now let's go.
Start backing up, gunfire.
Back up, back up. Now let's go. Back up, back up. All the travel, we're in contact, make contact.
Action.
Now let's go. Back up, back up. All the travel, we're in contact, make contact.
The comments were ridiculous. They even said, I love how the flag got lowered.
Now let's go. Back up, back up. All the travel, we're in contact, make contact.
I love how the flag got lowered. While he's being shot, they're lowering the flag coming down for dramatic effects. Let's watch this again.
And 3, 2, 1, go!
Now let's go.
Start backing up, gunfire.
Back up, back up. Now let's go. Back up, back up. All the travel, we're in contact, make contact.
Action.
Now let's go. Back up, back up. All the travel, we're in contact, make contact.
So yes, governments run psyops to strengthen loyalty, and Trump makes people sign non-disclosure contracts. So what if every single person in that audience were crisis actors that signed an NDA?
Okay, anytime.
Thank you, cast. May I have your attention, please? We don't have a lot of time, so let's get on with it.
So was what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania, a theater production, a psyop to get you to believe the lie, to fully invest in Trump, to follow him wherever he wants to lead people by their emotions without really paying attention to what he's actually doing? Did you believe the lie? I pray in Jesus' name that people's eyes are open to see. So much is going on. I'm about to work on some videos about the peace plan that he's involved in. I pray that y'all get discernment to see that it's all a stage. Please get your eyes back on Jesus. We are surrounded by liars and deceivers and opportunists and power-hungry people, Satanists. Get your eyes back on Jesus. The first thing Jesus said in Matthew 24, when his disciples said, Lord, what's going to be the sign of the end of the age and of thy coming? Jesus said, let no man deceive you. He said that a strong delusion is coming upon the earth in the last days that will deceive many. The most important thing we can have in this late hour is discernment. So please pray to God over all of this. I love y'all. Thank you for watching. If you appreciate the content that you find on this channel, would you prayerfully consider supporting the ministry?